Here are two other French regional knives. In France, many of the different regions had their own particular knife styles that have historically taken the name of the region or the city, Laïol being one. These are two that are also regional patterns. Typically, the region would have its farmers or cattle herdsmen or whatever their job was, would sort of tailor the knife to fit what the people in that area were doing. These knives are both made by Fontenille-Pataud. That's a factory in Thiers, owned by Gilles Steinberg. And I visited this factory, and Gilles is quite nice. He spent time showing me the factory, and it was quite a pleasant visit. One of the neat things about French knives are that they've stuck with the really non-industrial type manufacturing. It's really small hand workshops that create these knives. So you're getting something that is really a handmade custom knife, but the prices aren't necessarily as high as you would get on something made in the United States, where you have a single artisan, because you have multiple people in these shops doing different stages of the manufacturing, but still being done by hand. This first pattern is called an Yssingeaux style, and typically that's characterized by you have the little bail extension on the spring and the handle shape and the drop point blade shape. This one has a satin finish, marked made in France. It uses the typical 12C27 Sandvik steel that's common for most of the French knives. This one has a horn, a cow horn or buffalo horn handle that is then grooved by hand and polished to a rope pattern, and this grooving follows the spring all the way around onto the spine. The mouche, or the little extension on the spring here, has a different shape than you typically see, and there's no file work on that. But these are a nice sturdy knife. Typically these won't have bolsters on them, but the handles are very thick, and they're just a nice shape. The blade shape is quite nice. It's got a decent steel, and Fontenille-Pataud, I think, makes one of the best quality knives currently being made in France. Their knives use heavy materials. They're not really going to break on you. They are guaranteed. Gilles puts his mark on the blade on the higher end knives that they make. They're just very sturdy, very solid. The polishing is quite nice. And Gilles, I think, was one of the first makers to actually have a hump inside on the spring, so that when you close the blade doesn't actually hit the spine. You can actually push and see the blade move a little bit. So if you snap these shut, you're not going to damage the tip of the knife blade. This is another regional pattern. This one is called an Issoire, which is named after a town in France. This particular pattern typically will have an awl or a spike on the back, and then the bolster on the back end again is sort of reminiscent of the Yssingeaux, but will have the awl on there. This is also a knife made by Fontenille-Pataud. This one is using 440 steel, actually, and does not have the Gilles marking. That actually might have started after he made these, but this is a very highly polished steel. It's got my fingerprints all over it. This one actually was ordered with file work, so they did very, very pretty file work on the stainless steel liners and the spring and the liner's on the inside, and even on the liner under the awl, which you can't really seal because the awl is closed, but you can even see, if the light shines right, there's the file work visible on the inside of the spring as well. And the filing, which the French call guillochage, the file work goes all the way down the spine of the blade, and then the typical mouche is in a different stylized shape for the Issoire, which is sort of typical of that style of knife. This one has some nice pin work done in it, and the wood on this is palm wood, so from a palm tree. And palm wood is quite interesting because it has these long tubers that go the length of the wood, and makes quite a pretty knife handle when it's polished. And again, this style is a little bit different. Because you have the awl, the knife actually stops on the liner since it's offset. So this one you have to be a little bit cautious when you close the knife, because it does stop on the stainless steel liner. But Fontenille-Pataud, they do a very nice job. Very nice quality knives. Again, the sort of regional patterns are different from what you'd see in the U.S. And very nice quality.